Hi everyone, it's Alison and I'm the creator of How to Develop a Home Yoga Practice online course, and today I'm going to share with you a very simple and healing yoga practice for your low back. Yoga provides some amazing benefits for low back pain. In particular, yoga can help you re-establish the natural curve of your spine, as well as create balance in the muscles of your back. You might be using one or another more than you need to. It will also generate integrity in your legs and feet. My teachers would say your legs govern your low back, and I like to take that a little deeper and say your feet will inform your legs, so you really need to have integrity there too. Yoga will also encourage you to move, explore, learn, and take action towards healing your low back pain. Through yoga, you'll also be able to process emotions that may create tension or pain in your low back. We're going to keep these principles in mind as we practice. To begin, take a comfortable seat and breathe. Low back pain can be scary, I know, because I've been there. So when you come to the mat to practice during this time, be sure to sit and ground yourself and breathe and become centered and steady with your breath and with yourself. And from here, we're going to start on hands and knees. We're going to start by just creating some great alignment in our spine. So first, do a mini cat and cow. You're going to take your heart forward, your hips back, and then just scoop your tailbone to draw your low belly up and in, creating a long and stabilized spine. Keeping your toes tucked under and your legs charged will help this. And then you're going to keep all of that as you lift up into downward facing dog with bent knees. Keep your fingertips pressing into the mat, your feet active, and your legs charged here. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths, really just connecting with the body, connecting with the breath, creating stability and strength in our legs. And then slowly walk up 1 foot at a time into Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Here, you're going to bend your knees, move your hips back and your heart forward, then exhale, stretch through your legs and bow. We're going to take several breaths just like that. Inhale, bend your knees, hips back, heart forward, and exhale, stretch powerfully through your legs to bow. Continue with that cycle of breathing in and lengthening. Exhaling to stretch and straighten. This bending of the knees will create more tone in the muscles of your legs. So it's literally like pumping strength into the legs. And then from this place of strength and steadiness, then you stretch the legs straight. And in this way, it is safe for your low back and your spine. And it's also going to create a pattern of strong, steady legs supporting your low back. Continue with your breath. Inhale, lengthening, expanding. Exhale, stretching powerfully down through your feet, lifting your belly and bowing. It's very similar to cat and cow here. The inhale, your heart moves forward, your hips move back and apart, you create space. And then your exhale, you scoop your tailbone, lift your belly up and in and create length. A few more, inhaling, heart forward, exhaling, stretching down through your legs. And then from here, we're stepping directly into a wide-legged forward fold, and you're just going to pivot into the forward fold, staying close to the earth. And then we're going to bend one knee at a time and rock side to side, a similar intention that as we just did in the Uttanasana, the the standing forward fold, in that you're bending your knees to create a charge in your leg muscles. You're moving your hips back and apart to create space and expansion in your low back. And then you're straightening the opposite leg, and that's going to create a little tone in the belly and stabilize the low back. One of the things that holds most of us back from making progress in our yoga practice, and also when trying to heal our low back, is that the hips are tight and the hamstrings are tight. And this posture really takes care of both of those. As you bend the knee, you're moving the hips back and apart, widening them. And you're also stretching the hamstring with the leg you stretch straight. And then you're going to slowly come back to the center, stretch both legs straight, and bow forward. As you bow forward, come onto your fingertips and squeeze your shoulder blades on your back, because having integrity in your upper back gives your low back and your legs more support, more permission, more opportunity to open and have space, have expansion, create freedom for you. Now from here, you're going to bend your left knee to a square, turn your left toes out, and bring your hands to a diagonal. So it's like you're in warrior two legs, and more like a lunge in your upper back. Now what you want to do here is press into your feet and move your hips back. You can even take your right hand to your right hip and really encourage the whole thigh bone to move back. And then we're going to change sides, walk through the center, right toes out, and then hand to your left hip, press your left hip crease back. That is a powerful, powerful alignment that will really serve you in all your postures. Now from here, you're going to walk back to the front of your mat. Place your hands and step up to Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Here in Uttanasana, bend your knees deep, hold opposite arm to opposite elbow, and from your strong, steady legs, you can let your spine just hang. You can let your head hang. And we're doing this variation so you really have encouragement to create steadiness in your legs. Because next, you're going to bring your elbows to your knees, and you're in this kind of funky squat skiers position. Again, the hips are moving back and the heart is moving forward. From the front, the posture looks like this. The feet are hip distance apart. Their feet are charged, creating strong legs. We're going to move into a hip opener from here. You're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. And then continue moving your hips back and apart, creating space in your low back. One hand to your ankle, one hand to your knee. That'll help you feel supported. And again, sometimes low back pain can be encouraged by tightness, especially in the hips and the outer hip flexors. This is one of the most powerful and safe hip openers I know. So that's why we're doing it here in this practice. And then transition to the second side, bringing the right ankle over the left knee. One hand on the ankle, one hand on your knee. Keep the right foot flexed like crazy. That charges the legs so you can really move the hips back and apart. And as you can see, the hips, the heart, and the head are all on the same level. Breathe fully and deeply. You can also put your hips against a wall if it is challenging to balance here. And then place your hands, come out of the pose. And then make your way back to downward facing dog with bent knees. Bent knees to create space in your low back and strength in your legs. From here, bring your knees to the earth and transition back to hands and knees. And then you're going to untuck your toes, press the big toes together and take your knees wide, and move your hips back for child's pose, and then scoop your pelvis down to rest fully in child's pose. So it's a very articulated movement in the pelvis. We're going to do it again. This helps with the curve in your low back. So you move the hips back and apart. There's a curve in your low back. And then scoop your tailbone, lift your belly to melt your hips towards your heels. If your hips don't touch your heels, that's perfectly fine. Go to the place where it's comfortable, where you can breathe, and where the life inside you is expanding. One more time, all together, that deep articulation in the pelvis, hips back and apart, and then scoop the tail, lift your belly, and take the hips towards your heels, coming into child's pose. Great work. From here, you're going to make your way on to your back. And you're going to come into a position that's similar to bridge pose. You're going to place your elbows by your ribs, press down into your elbows to hug your shoulder blades on your back and lift your heart up. So again, that's pressing down on the elbows to lift your shoulder blades on your back. Very good. And then you want to press into your feet, and you'll have a curve in your low back. And then you're just going to gently scoop your tailbone and lift your belly up and in to lift your hips off the earth. Now, you don't have to lift your hips. You can stay with your whole back on the earth. And when you do lift your hips, lift from the strength in your legs, and then exhale, lower down. We're going to do that a few more times. Inhale, lifting up from the strength in your legs. Exhale, lowering down. One more. Inhale, scoop your tailbone towards your knees, lift your belly up to lift your spine, and then exhale, softly, sweetly lower. From there, stretch your legs out long and flex your feet, then draw your right knee in towards your chest. Keep both your feet charged, but especially the left foot. And you can draw the right knee a little more towards your armpit. You can stay here or place your hands behind your hamstring and stretch your right leg straight. As you stretch the right leg straight, reach up through the heel, right? It's easy to reach through the ball of your foot, but reach through the heel and you'll really stretch the back of your legs. You can always use a strap here as well to give yourself more space and more ease in the posture. And then draw your right knee in towards your chest again. And then stretch your right leg out long to meet the left. Notice the difference between the two sides. And then draw your left knee in towards your chest, keeping the right foot charged, the right leg long. If there is any strain in the right hip flexor, so right where the leg meets the pelvis, you can bend your right knee and place your right foot on the earth. That is a perfectly appropriate modification. And from here, you can stay where you are or place the hands behind your left hamstring and stretch your left leg straight. A lot of times, the pain in the low back can be greatly diminished by opening your hips and your hamstrings, and that is primarily what we worked on today, as well as re-establishing the natural curve in the spine and the mechanics in the pelvis that help you have a healthy curve in your spine. And doing the postures we've done in this practice regularly, many people experience that their low back diminishes significantly. But it does take a consistent practice. Bend your left knee and draw it back in towards your chest or your armpit. So you're widening your hip. And then stretch your left leg out long to meet the right. We're going to do one more stretch. You're going to bring your feet to the mat and then tip your pelvis down so you have a curve in your low back, and bring your knees up above your hips. Now the curve in the low back is so much so that you can put your hand underneath there, and you really want to have that. And then as you rock, you're rocking on the outer hip flexors, one of those areas that with low back pain is often tight and contracted. It's like a little self-massage. From here, I invite you to take a timer and set it for 3 to 7 minutes of Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this helps your low back. Leave your comments below. And if you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you'd like more, if you'd like training on how to create your own home yoga practices, visit homeyogapractice.com, because on this website you can sign up for free training videos. Thank you again. I'm Allison, and I'll see you soon.